journey, not just on our Sundays, but throughout the season in our daily lives, has really been causing change in your hearts. Today we come to a really powerful moment in what I see in Abraham's journey. And I hope that it's something that really draws us and really brings us into a turning point in our relationship with Jesus. A few weeks ago, we began talking about how Abraham changed. And you really begin to see in his reaction, his response, and how he lives, that there's a difference in who he is, there's a difference in his character. And my hope, as we've been going over this journey of faith, and his journey as a community and as a church, is that we wouldn't be the same. Is that there would be a change in how we live. And it may not be a big change. I'm not saying there has to be a complete 180. I'm just saying, and even in the small ways, because one small change, I think, gives us a glimpse of the freedom and the hope of the life there is in Jesus Christ. And I pray that we have been knowing that, we've been encountering that, and we've been growing in that. So as we do this, let me just take a moment to pray. And Lord, as we come before you today, Father, may we know what it means to be loved by you. This word love, we throw it around so flippantly in our world today. But may we know the power of your love. May we know the freedom that comes from being loved by you. May we know the hope through the tenderness of grace. That whatever we are going through, whatever we are facing, whether we may have never known that love, God, I pray that today there be an encounter of hope, to know what it means that you love us. And that as we go from here, as we seek your word, as we hear your word, God, it wouldn't be out of a sense of obligation, but out of a relationship. And so I pray for your presence today. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. So like I said, we've been going over this during the season of Lent, this journey of Abraham. For me, looking at Abraham is so important because he's really, we recognize him as the father of faith, the father of many nations as we have come to know. But the thing, also the reason is because you see how human Abraham is. How real that journey is from his calling from the beginning. And I look at it and I go, yeah, being called by God is exciting. Yes, Lord, we will go. And as you go, you begin to see, the realities and challenges that he faces. Being selfish. That's okay. Sometimes we get selfish. That's all right. When he starts looking out for himself, the promise that he felt he heard from God, he starts taking matters into his own hands. And we begin to see all this. But starting from a few weeks ago, we begin to see a shift in Abraham. Right? As his name changes, as the Lord reveals himself to him, there's a change. There's a real change in Abraham. And I hope that you've been able to see that, starting from several weeks ago, last week, and hopefully today, we really begin to see this change. And this is really where we begin to understand that Abraham is a father of faith, because he begins to live that out. And for us, in our journey, I pray that we would not allow our faith to be defined by routine, by schedule, by the things we have to get done, by quote-unquote the realities of life, right? The deadlines and schedules and the things that we're committed to, we have to get done. I feel like sometimes it's so easy to get the sense of Monday to Friday is my work life, my things I need to get done, and the weekend I can breathe and relax. That's why I go to church, to get a little bit of reprieve, and then go back out. But I pray that it's not just a reprieve. I pray that our faith would be dictated by our schedules and our commitments, but that our faith would be defined by our relationship with Jesus Christ. And from that relationship, from that reality, we would take steps of faith. And from that relationship in faith, we would begin to take steps. Because here's the thing, if we're not taking steps of faith, we're really just kind of in a holding pattern. There's nothing really happening. We're just being stagnant and being still. But I pray that as we're convicted, I pray that as we're challenged, we would be willing to take a step out, to take a step into what he calls us, and just to trust that he has whatever he has planned for us, and that it is perfect, and that it is good. I think faith is really about that. It's that we don't stay the same, but that we're willing to step out into the unknown. And as we do, to know the reality that Jesus Christ is there. To know the reality that as I step into the unknown, and there's fear, there's a whole mix of emotions that happen as we step out of faith, but as we do, as I'm willing to go, as I'm willing to make a change, as I feel a tugging in my heart to let something go or to make a change, to see the freedom, to see the grace, to see the hope that is there, to know that we aren't alone. And to me, that is the miracle of Jesus Christ. To me, that is the reality of his resurrection. And even today, in this day, and from generation upon generation, that the reality of Christ gives hope and is alive and is changing people today. And it does provide freedom. No matter what walks of life, no matter what background, no matter where we are. You know, I've been very blessed by the opportunity of traveling to different places in different countries. And originally, some of you may know, I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada. And, from going to ministry there, growing up there, to moving to Southern California and going on mission trips, being deployed with the military, going to different countries. I see all this, and you know what's exciting? Let me tell you something. Our God is so big. It is so awesome. I'm just getting amped up about it. Our God is so big. Our God, from the places from the middle of the Persian Gulf where we have service to a refugee camp that I was in northern Uganda, right? And they had no church. They had no building. We used to meet out by a tree, and they had, it was literally outside. And here we are in the middle of this bush, and we would have worship service. Just awesome. And let me tell you, our God is so big because wherever we are, whatever we're doing, no matter what background, no matter what language, no matter what culture, we all worship God. And he is continuing to be relevant in all tribes, all tongues, all people. How awesome that is. And that is the God that we have a relationship. That is the God we worship. That's the God we sing about. How wondrous he is. That it speaks to all people. All people. No matter what you're going through. No matter what challenge you have. No matter you might say, no, but this is so hard. But see, God gives us hope even in the midst of those struggles, those challenges. And that, I believe, is a reality of his resurrection. And so today, I want to take a look at the type of relationship that Abraham had. And that it would challenge us and change us and cause us to go deeper in our relationship with the Lord as well. So let's turn to Genesis chapter 18. Genesis chapter 18, I'll be reading from verses 16 to 33. And let me give a little background. So this passage I'm reading today is the second part of what we read last week. And last week we talked about the beginning of Genesis chapter 18, where there's Abraham, it's the middle of the day, it's hot, and he sees these three visitors, right? And then he says, hey, please come and wash your feet and relax and let me feed you. And he doesn't know that the Lord is with these three visitors. He doesn't know that. He just sees these two visitors. And you begin to see there's a change. And even though in verse 1 of chapter 18, let me just review a little bit, it says the Lord appeared to Abraham. That's for us as readers to understand. Saying the Lord is there. The Lord is there. And even if we may not recognize that He's there and amongst it, He's there. The Lord appeared to Abraham near the great trees of Mamre. And so He's there. What an encouragement. So here's the second part of this passage, of this chapter, where Abraham had invited these three visitors to come into his home, and he feeds them, and he gives them rest. And this is the passage, this is the point of the passage we come to today. So Genesis chapter 18, starting from verse 16, says this. When the men got up to leave, they looked down towards Sodom, and Abraham walked along with them to see them on their way. Then the Lord said, "Shall I hide from Abraham what I'm about to do? Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation, and all nations on earth will be blessed through him. For I have chosen him, so that he will direct his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just, so that the Lord will bring about for Abraham what he has promised him." Now the Lord said, "The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great, and their sin so grievous, that I will go down and see if what they have done is as bad as the outcry that has reached me. If not, I will know." The men turned away and went towards Sodom, but Abraham remained standing before the Lord. Then Abraham approached him and said, "Will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you really sweep it away and not spare the place for the sake of 50 righteous people in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to kill the righteous with the wicked, treat the righteous and the wicked alike. Far be it from you. Will not the judge of all the earth do right?" The Lord said, "If I find 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom, I will spare the whole place for their sin." Then Abraham spoke up again. "Now that I've been so bold as to speak to the Lord, though I am nothing but dust and ashes, what if the number of the righteous is 5 less than 50? Will you destroy the whole city for lack of 5 people? 5 find 45 there," he said. "I will not destroy it." Once again, he spoke to him. "What if only 40 are found there?" He said, "For the sake of 40, I will not do it." Then he said, "May the Lord not be angry, but let me speak. What if only 30 can be found there?" He answered, "I will not do it if I find 30 there." Abraham said, "Now that I've been so bold as to speak to the Lord, what if only 20 can be found there?" He said, "For the sake of 20, I will not destroy it." Then he said, "May the Lord not be angry, but let me speak just once more. What if only 10 can be found there?" He answered, "For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it." When the Lord had finished speaking with Abraham, he left, and Abraham returned home. So like I mentioned, we begin to see a very different type of Abraham and a different type of relationship that he has with the Lord. And as we begin to start, let me start off with this. So we talked about these 2 visitors, right? And we said there's 3 men. And we begin to see here who these visitors are. Here when we ultimately see who the visitors are and who those 3 men are. Obviously one of them is the Lord, who remains behind and has a conversation with Abraham. The other 2, which you see in chapter 19, verse 1, which is literally the verse right after, it says, "The 2 angels arrived at Sodom in the evening." Right? So the 3 visitors with the Lord and 2 angels. And we see here his response to them and the way that he's changed. We see a kind of relationship where it's so much different. And it's so, to me, it's so intimate. I love this. And a relationship that is built on this. When we talk about intimacy, right? Intimacy is defined as a closeness. There's a close familiarity or friendship that's there. And I wonder, in the cost of I wonder how often we consider our relationship with Jesus as being intimate. As being intimate. I wonder if the kind of faith that we have and that we live out is one where we feel close to Jesus. Where we're able to sense His presence, that we are familiar with His presence. matter where we go. And unfortunately, I think in the world that we live in, Jesus and Christianity is too easily considered just a lifestyle, which is just a manner, a way of simply living well, to stay well. I think of like a healthy lifestyle, right? Somebody says, I want to live a healthy lifestyle. It's somebody who wants to avoid, right, living an unhealthy lifestyle. They say, well, I don't want to get sick, or I don't want to gain weight, or I want to have, better health. I want to feel energized. And I feel energized by drinking a lot of coffee. I don't know about you, but they're like, oh, I have to eat well, and I'm going to stay away from greasy foods. They're like, well, that gives me happiness. But that's, again, different lifestyles, right? Different needs, different things. But in that same way, if we live out a relationship with Jesus as a lifestyle, as simply a lifestyle, to me that's so restrictive rather than being free. Because you're bound to live a certain way so that you don't do the opposite. Right? It's restrictive. It's like, well, I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to do that. But here's the thing, a life in Christ is not simply a method of living, but it's a kind of life I live out of a relationship, that I have. And rather than worrying about, avoiding an unpleasant outcome, I think, well, I don't want to do that, I don't want to be like that. It's not doing something so you don't do something. It's living in love. It's living in love with Jesus Christ. That my desire, that the reason I do the things that I do, were not to avoid something, but it's to draw close to Him. It's because I desire to do so, to know the victory and to know the hope that is Jesus Christ. When I think of one of the closest intimate relationships that I have, it's one that I have with my spouse. And I wouldn't be a very good husband if I said to my wife, the only reason I got married, the reason I have a married life and lifestyle is because I don't want to be single. The opposite, right? The reason I decided to get married, Monica, I had happy anniversary, is I didn't want to be single. That's why. Isn't that great? So I will do everything in my power not to get back to the singleness because I want to be married. Right? It's like, well, that's probably not a good relationship. It's probably not the best reason for getting married. So if you know anything like that, you can refer them to me and I'll talk about it. But, being married is because I love Monica. I love talking. It's not Valentine's Day. Let's see, like, wait a minute, it's Valentine's Day? What's going on? And it's not, but I just, when I talk about intimacy, and there's ups and downs. Don't get me wrong, right? Everything's not perfect. There are challenges, there are conflicts. But I think that's part of that relationship. There are ups and downs. And sometimes people think, well, it's not a relationship with Jesus. It should be all like, roses and, sunshine. No, not always. There are ups and there are downs. There are hills and there are valleys. But at the end of the day, the reason I continue on, the reason I have this relationship with my wife is because I love her. And I think about that relationship with Jesus Christ. The reason we worship, the reason we go to church, the reason we do the things that we do is not to avoid the unpleasantness, but rather it's because and out of our love for Jesus Christ. It's to know His love for, it's to desire His love more. When you have an intimate relationship, you have this natural desire to want to be close to a person, right? You want to be physically close. You want to be emotionally close. And there's a sense of safety and comfort and fulfillment, right? It's like this desire. In that same way, I believe we need to have that same kind of relationship with Jesus Christ. To have that desire. To have a desire to be close to Him. To worship Him. To know that He is worth it. And to begin to live out from that relationship. So what does it mean? What does it mean to have this intimacy? How do we have this intimacy in the journey of faith? There's three things I want to focus on. The first is this. Intimacy within the journey of faith includes walking and remaining in God's presence. Okay? Intimacy within the journey of faith includes walking and remaining in God's presence. See, when we go back to our passage today, here we are with the visitors, right? And they're preparing to. And for me, as I read this, I don't know, for me, there's like such a powerful image that comes to my mind. And it may not be that way. Maybe I watch too many movies. You know, I am from LA, so like Hollywood. But this is how I imagine. Here are these visitors, right? It says in verse 16, the men got up to leave. And as they do, they look down towards Sodom. So in my mind, there's like a hill. And they're looking, so they get up after eating. They look down, and there's a moment of contemplation. Right? There's a moment of contemplation. Right? Verse 17. Shall I hide from Abraham what I'm about to do? Right? There's like this monologue that happens. It's awesome. If you do theater, right? It's like that moment where they're thinking and they're talking to themselves. It's powerful. And as they're looking towards Sodom, where they're preparing for the possibility of this catastrophic event, in the midst of that reflection, along comes Abraham, and he comes alongside them. He comes alongside them and he walks with them. And it's so beautiful to me. It's almost like, a child coming before their father and wanting to be with them and walk with them. It's like Abraham feels the comfort he will to walk with the Lord. And he doesn't just leave. He doesn't, after they eat, say, okay, thank you for coming, bye-bye. He doesn't let them go on their way. He walks with them until they leave. That makes me think, how are we walking with the Lord? And a lot of times we say, well, do you walk with the Lord? We think of like a faith. Like you have faith with the Lord. I'm not talking simply about faith. I'm talking about how are you walking every day with the Lord and the things that you're doing. How do you walk with Him as you go to work? How do you walk with Him as you go to school? How do you walk with Him as you prepare for your meals? How do you walk with Him as you rest at night? How are you walking with Him? How are you walking with Him? What does it look like for you to walk with the Lord? Do we leave once we're done? Right? Once we have our scheduled meeting with the Lord, whether it's church or our devotional time, we say, oh yeah, I've done it, I've had my moment with the Lord, and we allow the Lord to go. We say, I'm done, okay God, I'll see you later. I have to get back to work, I have to get back to what I need to. Or are we willing to walk with Him? Do we journey with Him? Do we walk with His presence? For no other reason than to simply sometimes we think, well, if I walk with the Lord, please bless me in this, help me with this, guide me in this. But what if it was just simply to walk with the Lord? Just simply to be with Him? To me, that is that part of that intimacy. To come alongside Him. For no other reason than to be with Him. And it is in this journey, as Abraham comes alongside him, that the Lord reveals to him this next part of His plan. And so the angels leave. Right? We come to this point, and the angels leave and they go. Verse 22. The men turned away and went towards Sodom. And here's this next image I love. But here, Abraham remained standing before the Lord. It's like, here he is walking, and then the two men go, and it says Abraham and the Lord. What a powerful image to remain with the Lord. He doesn't look, right? He doesn't leave, he doesn't feel awkward, like, okay, the men left, all right, I'll see you later, you okay? He doesn't, there's no awkwardness, there's no, like, I gotta get back to what I need to do, and I need to get back to my work, or I need to get back to my family. There's a willingness to remain in His presence. How willing are we to remain in God's presence? As we journey in faith, how do we remain in His presence in our lives? When I think about remaining and having been present, I think of my youngest right now. And only because everything's so current. I'm sure Joshua needs to too, but Daniel especially, there's something that tugs in my heart with him right now. And, whether it's playing, whether it's taking a nap, whether it's going to sleep, he always wants somebody there. Right now it's kind of me, but when Mom, because there's no competition, he wants Mom, right? But, especially when we're playing, and he has a little train table that he has a little sofa there. He says, Daddy, sit. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to sit here, and I just want to, like, no, Daddy, sit. And he'll come, he'll go to the sofa and pat on the seat. He says, Daddy, sit. And he says it in Korean, so it's even more cute. Right? Abancho, right? Daddy, sit. Okay, what can I do? And then I'll be trying to I'll get up to get a cup of water or something, and say, no, Daddy, sit. And he's like, adamant, Daddy, sit. He's like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Don't go. I'm not even talking to you, buddy. I'm not even, my back is facing you, but he just wants me there. There's a sense of safety and security. There's a sense of comfort in the presence. I encourage you to take those moments, to have those moments, to allow the presence of God to be there, and to seek it, to walk with Him, and to remain there, and to know the comfort, the peace, the hope in His presence. The next thing is to look at that intimacy within the journey of faith includes the freedom to approach and intercede. Intimacy with the journey of faith includes the freedom to approach and intercede. See, as Abraham, so here he is, and the Lord has revealed this plan to Abraham. He feels free to approach God and plead with Him on behalf of Sodom. And not in a way that's argumentative, right? Not in a way where he's bargaining him or that's conditional or anything like that, but just to plead with him. And too often I think when we make our requests known to God, it's in the hopes that things will turn out the way that I'm asking. It's really kind of like, Lord, please let this happen. And if it doesn't happen, then we're really struggling. Why did God answer my prayer? Why did He answer it the way that I asked? I fasted and I did this. I thought He was going to answer me in this way. And then sometimes God doesn't answer the way that we want it because maybe it's not the right way. And it's the willingness to trust in God. To wholly trust in the sovereignty of God. That no matter what the outcome is, knowing that we can trust Him and we can come to Him with anything. And lay that down at His feet. And it may not come out, the outcome may not be the way that I planned, but it's to know that I can still trust Him and that He is still good and that I can lay it down and be free and not have the burden of holding anything or being anxious about anything, but to know the peace of Christ, which is what Paul says. Intimacy is not about just making my desires be the outcome. Trusting in God's outcome. And to be able to approach Him with confidence. And the thing is, I love this long discourse that Abraham has. What about 50? Okay, wait, Lord, what about 45? Okay, well, Lord, what about 30? What about 28? I mean, he keeps going down in number, and I love it. And it's not just like, hey, you better. It's like, Lord, would you do this? Would you do this? Would you? And it's like, to me, it's like a sweet back and forth between the relationship with the Lord and Abraham. The Lord doesn't say, Abraham, stop talking. I got it. I know where you're going with this. You 40, 50, 45, I know. You're trying to, I understand, Abraham. Trust me, I know. But it's not. It's almost like this, go ahead, ask me. Ask me. Keep asking. Keep asking. It's okay. And I love that. And I feel like Abraham has this freedom to know that he can approach the Lord. He can lay these things down, and he can trust in Him, knowing that the Lord will hear. And I wonder if we also have that that same sense of relationship, to know that we can come with the Lord over and over and over again and trust Him. Not simply send up words and say, hey Lord, would you bless me in this? Amen. And kind of let it kind of fall to the ground. But to know, like, to really plead. You know, he's not just saying, hey God, wouldn't you save the people of Sodom? Wouldn't you do this? He didn't just leave it there. He's saying, God, would you, like, what about this many? Lord, what about this many? And this is like real pleading. This is real interceding. Lord, in who you are, and I know how great you are. Lord, I come to you again with this request. Lord, I come to you again with this request. Lord, I know I've said it so many times. Lord, I come to you again with this request. And to me, this is a great example of intercession, of pleading with the Lord, saying, God, again, please, I trust in your outcome. But what about this time? And it's trusting that He hears. It's trusting that we can approach and lay these things down and know that He hears us. To me, that is intimacy. To be able to say it again and again and again. Not just flippantly, not just, just laying words down, but to know that I can plead with the Lord and that He hears me. Do we approach God with an intimate heart? To lay our requests down and know that He hears us. I pray that as we journey in faith, we would know this intimacy of being able to approach this awesome God, this loving God, and to lay our requests down. The last thing is, intimacy within the journey of faith includes the willingness to wait on Him. Includes the willingness to wait on Him. See, if you look at the last verse of the passage, verse 3, after walking with the Lord, after remaining there with the Lord, after approaching Him and laying these requests down, it says in verse 33, when the Lord had finished speaking with Abraham, He left, and Abraham returned home. Abraham doesn't leave until God is finished speaking. Abraham doesn't leave until God is finished speaking. And I think so often in our world, in our time, we are so busy. We are inundated with so many things. And we are so busy that we leave before God is finished. Say, Lord, would you do this? Lord, would you help me with this? Okay, oh man, I gotta go. I gotta get things done. There's so many things, and we get we're stretched in so many ways. And let me tell you, I believe that's part of the enemy's plan in this world, in this culture, in this time. To be pulled in so many directions that we can't be still. We can't remain still. We can't wait on the Lord for Him to finish speaking what He needs to speak in our lives. Because we have so many different things going on. Our mind wanders in so many different ways because there's too many things that we have to get done. And here's the thing, with all the things that we have to get done, it doesn't help us, it doesn't free us, it doesn't free me. It stresses me out. And the more things we need to get done, the more anxious we get. And we can't sit still. But I believe in an intimate relationship. It's not leaving in the middle of it. It's not saying, hey, if I'm speaking to Monica, my spouse, and say, hey, sorry, can we talk? And in the middle of what I'm trying to share with her, she's like, okay, and then she leaves before I'm fully finished. Just because you're done with words doesn't mean that conversation's over. Do you know what I'm saying? And sometimes there's a lot more to it. Like, I need to sit, and I need you to feel my angst, right? Like Daniel threw a tantrum today, and it was really hard. And then she's like, okay, I'm sorry, and walks away like, well, he totally didn't get it. He didn't get how I felt, or whatever else it might be. I had a hard day. I'm so sorry, I hear you. And then walk away like, okay, no, you didn't. You didn't, right? It's like being finished is not simply just about sounds and words and about a situation. It's about remaining there with them. And I love it. It says, when the Lord had finished speaking with Abraham, that's not when he left. No. It's when the Lord left. When the Lord had finished speaking with Abraham, he left. Abraham returned home. My challenge to us is this, is to wait on him. Not just to remain only, but to remain and to wait. To let God finish speaking in our hearts. To let God finish feeling the tug in our hearts. Because sometimes I feel like the Holy Spirit comes and it's tugging in our hearts to make a decision, to make a movement, to go in this direction, to do this or to do that. But we end something, and we end a certain thing, and we have to get to something else, and we cut it short. Let us not move until we feel like the Lord has finished saying what he needs to say. That the Lord has finished allowing us to sense what we need to sense. The Lord allows us to be convicted about what we need to be convicted about. And to know, in the midst of that, there is hope. There is hope. He doesn't want us to wait and remain in him so that we won't get stressed out anymore. Because I'll tell you, the number of times that I felt that pull, even myself, right? I felt that pull to get things done. But if I just say, you know what, no, I'm going to choose to remain in the Lord. I've never been like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I have a extra moment of quiet time? You know, why did I have more devotion with the Lord? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I've never done that. You know what I walked away with? Wow, I really needed that. I really needed that. I needed that hope. I needed that peace. I needed that rest. I needed that word. I needed it. I think that's part of that intimate relationship. God knows what you need. And as we come before him, as we walk with him in our day-to-day lives, as we remain in him, as we approach him, and as we plead with him, and as we wait on him, we begin to understand his love, his relationship, and pray that as we go from here, that we can. Let's pray. And Father, as we are reminded of this relationship and the intimacy that is in you, Lord, as we go from here, I pray that we wouldn't go back to our regularly scheduled lives, but we would know the joy, the love, the intimacy of being with you, of walking with you, of approaching you, of just hearing your words, of just having joy and comfort that you are there present with us. So now, Lord,